time of the year again. ATN and Central Belize Mission humbly invites you to our annual Christmas special, Emmanuel, God with Us. On December 22nd at 7 p.m., bring your loved ones with you and come and join us at the Ephesus Seventh-day Adventist Church, located at number 1 Wilson Street, for lively singing, fellowship, and reflections on Jesus' birth. We encourage you to bring along a special offering to help ATN's ministry in our pursuit of spreading the gospel. For a virtual family, you can join us on Facebook, YouTube, and all our streaming platforms. Come and celebrate with us. We hope to see you there.
Welcome back to Defining Your Health. I am your host, Chantel Neal, and wherever you're watching us from, we want to thank you so much for joining us once again, be it Facebook, YouTube, or Channel 98. We thank you for being here with us again. We have a lovely guest with us. Miss Leera is back on set with us. Miss Leera, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
We always enjoy when Miss Leera is on set of Defining Your Health. And for those of you who may not know her, Ms. Leera is a nutritionist, a dietitian, and she is the owner of Optimal Nutrition Services. Ms. Leera, for those who may not know, what is Optimal Nutrition Services? Can you just give a brief little overview of what the business is all about?
Okay, so Optimal Nutrition Services has a vision to be Belize's leader in medical nutrition therapy.
Nice.
And for those who don't know what nutrition therapy is, it's simply using food as treatment and prevention methods. So we offer counseling and therapeutic sessions for individuals who have diabetes, more chronic conditions like hypertension, fatty liver disease. We also have cases of HIV, colon cancer, different things, ulcers, maybe you've been struggling with H. pylori infection.
Okay.
We do counseling and meal planning for that, and currently we have a special offer going on, and I think we can talk more about that a little later.
Yes, we'll get to it a little later, but we're giving you guys a little teaser for you all to stay to the end of this program today. We have a special offer that we'll be offering to our viewers, so we want for you to share the link. Share the blessing of this program with somebody, a family, a friend, somebody who is in need of hearing this this discussion.
Yes.
I want for you to engage with us as well in the comments. You can put your comments there. Let us know what you think about the topic. If there's something else, something we mentioned here that you'd like to know more about, Ms. Leera is free to answer your question.
Yes.
Now, as we get into our discussion for today, we are talking about eating well. Eating well, and we've been doing a series here on the food pyramid, and this today is a final discussion to that series, and we're wrapping it up by talking about eating well. Now, as you look at Miss Leera, she's not only a nutritionist by degree. She believes in what she teaches. But Ms. Leera, we want to know, what sparked your interest in nutrition? What got you to this point of saying, hey, I need to start something to help my people. I need to make my mark by learning about nutrition, learning about diet, that will in turn help people. Tell us, give us the story.
Okay, so when I graduated from St. John's College, Junior College, I wanted to further my education at university, but I had to work in order so that I can pay to go to university. So at that time, I decided to take a job at one of the call centers in Belize. I'm not going to say what call center that was, but if you've worked at a call center before, or because you're in Belize, you probably have a cousin or sister or brother who works at one. You will know that the lunch and break times they're very tight. And so during lunch hours or during that lunch period, it's very short, maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes. That's the amount of time that you get to eat. And while I was working there for about 3 years, I observed the eating habits of the young people.
Wow.
Call centers have a lot of young people, and it was just not something that was natural for me because I was raised on cooked food.
Okay.
And also, on taking time to eat your food and chew your meals. In an Adventist home, you get to be raised like that.
Yeah.
And so seeing that, I observed those individuals who would have been there for years, 5 years, 10 years. This was their life, and if you ask them how they looked before they started and how they look in such a short time, they gained a lot of weight in areas, some of them in their abdominal area, some of them in the lower the hip area for the women especially, and even the men. And I just thought that this is not healthy.
Yeah.
And the environment itself, in terms of the types of call, it's stressful. No, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from working at the call center. If you need to work, you go ahead and work. But that was basically it. I just observed the eating habits, and me as a Belizean, I thought, you know what, I want to help and make this better. So when I would go home, normally I would just eat my food, take time to eat a healthy meal in the evening, and I would be searching up, what is this good for? How does this benefit my body? It was just a natural thing. And I prayed about it, and I decided to pursue and further my education at the Northern Caribbean University in Jamaica. They offer a dietetics degree.
Nice.
And so it was definitely a blessing to learn so much. I did not think dietetics spans so far in terms of therapeutic for healing. So recently I have seen recently, like last year, working within the hospital, I have seen how food itself has been medicine. They say it, but I have seen it work. So that's the reason I'm convinced, and I'm here doing optimal nutrition services because I want to help educate Belize, and other parts of the world to know that, you can eat healthy and the food doesn't have to be expensive.
Nice. That's so good to hear, Miss Leera, because a lot of times when people think about eating well, there's always something to the back of your mind that says eating well sounds expensive. I'm amazed at the store though, because that one situation, that one instance was able to help you to realize the need for us to be more
nutrition intervention, health awareness.
We are in a terrible state here, and so we need to make sure, and that's one of the goals for this program here, Defining Your Health. We are here to help you. We're not here myself, I'm not a professional in any health, with any health degree. But I know a lot, I read a lot, and we always like to bring on professionals like Miss Leera who can share. She has studied, she has tried, and what she studied is tried and true. So I'm happy that you took that one situation, one experience to that was able to push you into the direction that God wanted you to be. And I know this is not a mistake. This has to be God leading you in this way, because it's a need. It's a need for our church. There's not many people who go away and want to study to be a nutritionists. Most people want to be a doctor or a teacher,
nurse,
or a nurse. But being a nutritionist is a great need. And as you said, this degree it goes beyond just sitting and counseling somebody about health, or a health coach.
Yes.
We see nutritionists as health coach.
A lot of people think that, but
yeah, it's more than that.
Yes.
It's more than that. All right, so as you've mentioned that, I want to ask you a question. The year is at its end. If you could evaluate yourself and I'm asking her a question, but the question is for me as well. If you could evaluate yourself in terms of how you ate this year, where would you rank yourself?
I would give myself an 8 out of 10 if
8 out of
if
10.
10 is the best.
Okay.
Yes. I'd give myself that because there were times when I have been working a lot and I just did not take the time to eat. But that affects you. Not eating on time, eating late. You know, sometimes we prioritize a lot of different things and it takes away from the nutrition that your body needs.
Yeah.
So you kind of put strain on your body. And also, I would say maybe eating a little later than I should. So that's the reason I would say 8. But that's not often.
Yeah.
What about you? How would you rate yourself?
Hi, I was hoping you'd ask me, but I'd have to answer because I asked you, right? I would put myself at a 7. I don't think I did well this year. My workload was pretty heavy. I juggling jobs. I am a student, mom, and everything.
Wow.
So I think I really overdid it this year.
It's people like you that I like to help.
Okay. All right. Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because you know, I like the challenging situations. There's not much that you can do because you are doing a lot, right? When it comes to food. So I like to try to find creative ways so I can actually help you to get in the nutrients. Even if you don't have that 1 hour, 45 minutes to sit down and eat, you can actually drink something that is very nutritious, that is going to be filling, and you will be fine.
Yeah. Well, as we segue into our discussion, you said something that was key. Your food is your medicine. And before I continue, I want to ask our viewers, how would you rate yourself in terms of how you ate this year, in terms of nutrition, right?
Yes.
Rate yourself, and if you're brave enough, put your answer in the chat. Put your answer in the comment section for us to see how you would rate yourself. Our food is our medicine, Miss Leera.
That's right.
And when we talk about eating well, we talk about eating the right things. You know, because we can be eating, but what are we eating?
Right.
What are we eating?
I like too that you're coming on to the topic a lot more because eating well for a lot of people is subjective. But it is not so primarily when it comes to what your body needs. So eating well has a lot to do with the quantity and the quality of food that you're eating. So mainly if you are getting sufficient fruits and vegetables and you're cooking your grains, you know, you're eating your nuts, your legumes. I know you discussed previously, we did series on these food groups. If you are eating more of these foods and a less, you know, quantity or consumption of maybe the animal products, you are on the path of eating well. You are doing well. So the quantity and the quality of your food is very important.
Good. All right, that was well said, and it's so true. It's so true because here in Belize we eat big. You know, we eat, I'm not hiding this.
It's Caribbean. I think it's a Caribbean culture because even in Jamaica, the same way how the food looks that you purchase with the rice and beans, and it's the rice and beans that fills up the plate. It's the same way with the big piece of chicken or the big piece of meat or the fish that stick out outside of the plate. It's the same concept. And for some reason, we Belizean, when we buy a $10 plate or a $15 plate, we assume that we have to eat everything in there and that's what we want. That's your food for you.
But it's nice. My plate is the plate with the fish with a hang out by the side.
Exactly.
But we eat big, Miss Leera, but what is in our plate? We have to remember that when we're eating, we have to eat balance. Everything has to be balanced. And we have some slides that we will be sharing with you at this time. The first one says Caribbean food groups. You've alluded that we've touched these groups already, and this one is the final. When you look at this slide here, it has staples, legumes, food from animals, fruits, vegetables, fats, and oils. Our plate should include a little bit of each.
All of those. Well, I like that So viewers, if you pay attention to the picture on the
slide,
screen, the slide on the screen, you're actually going to see that that is a circular shape, and the reason it's like that, it's to mimic your plate. So in a sense, you're not going to eat all of those at the same time, but the reason why they created the diagram like that is for you to understand the quantity or portioning of these foods that you will be having for the day. So if you see for the carbohydrate or the staples, that's the main part. The reason why that is the main part is because for the most part, that's where we get our energy from.
Yes.
And that is the one that you will consider to be more easily, just like the fruits and the vegetables, they give the body digest these more easily. They are converted more to glucose, and that is what our body use as fuel to do our different activities. So eating your staple foods along with fruits, along with your vegetables, these are going to be more, well, it's not just any staple food either. So if you're looking at the picture and you see the different staple options, we have rice, we have oatmeal, cornmeal, green bananas. You see your ground provisions
food,
there. Ground provisions, Miss Neil, I don't think it's a big thing here in Belize. For some, maybe it is in the villages, but in the city, I don't normally see Belizeans eating a lot of ground provisions.
I think times has changed. You know, the older heads saw the value in eating ground food.
Yes.
Honestly, in my home, I don't think I've ever, apart from potatoes, that's the only thing I would buy.
And I was just going to mention that.
I forgot that there is sweet potato that you can cassava.
Exactly.
Those are staples that you can use.
I need to walk down to the market and ask the vendors how often do they sell their ground provisions, because I don't normally see it as something that they sell here, and those are very delicious. For example, the breadfruit, I know we have it here in Belize. That's a very good staple. It's filled with minerals. You don't get all of this from the white rice. You don't get that from the white rice. The main thing you get from the white rice is just the glucose that it is converted to.
You're right.
But when you eat your ground provisions, you get the glucose, you get the minerals. Those are what your body uses to continue to keep different things balanced, like your water levels, the potassium and the sodium, your bone, the calcium. You get these from the ground provisions. The soil, when we think about it, those people who are farmers, you know, naturally it exists in the soil, so you want to eat things that grows in the soil and not more of the refined products.
Definitely. What I can see here, Miss Leera, is that variety is very important.
That is correct.
We are used to eating our rice. We're used to eating our rice. In my home, we eat rice, pasta from this this staple group. From that group, we eat the rice, the pasta, the oats.
Oatmeal.
Yeah, and the cornmeal.
Main
the flour.
In Belize.
Yes, but we have to remember that in order for us to be eating well, we have to be eating a variety of things. You know, most of the time we eat the same thing over and over, and if you notice the staple on this chart, it's only a portion of the plate. I'm guessing the chart represents a plate. But most of the time, our plate is filled with half of starch.
Yes.
Right? It's filled with rice. You know, and then you have the vegetables that have the smallest part on the plate.
Well, that's why I was suggesting that this image is not necessarily exactly what your plate would look like, because people would think that that little small portion there too looks like what they have on their plate in Belize.
But it is.
Exactly. But in truth and fact, what I love about vegetables, specific vegetables, those that you eat raw, for those individuals who, let's say maybe you do want to lose weight, if you fill your plate with more raw vegetables, not the cooked one like the broccoli and the cauliflower and the carrots, because those are very good, but the raw ones, your body cannot really break those down. And because it can't break it down, it's only fiber, so it doesn't get energy. You don't get energy from it, but it fills you up, so it takes up space, and then you naturally eat less. And that being in that that state will help you to lose weight
Of
because
course.
you're eating less
Of
calories.
course. And then the raw ones have the water in it too.
Yes.
So that helps to fill up.
Yes.
All right, very nice, very nice. Moving up to the next slide now, it shows us a picture of different nutrients. The first one on the list there, it says nutrients that are dense, high in fiber, low in carbs. And there you have pictures of some of the vegetables that are they're delicious, they're high in fiber, and they're low in carbs. And we talk about fiber already. Fiber is the thing that helps us to have a good bowel movement.
That's right.
You know?
Not only the bowel movements, I'm happy you mentioned that, but fiber also helps to reduce your chances of getting colon cancer.
Okay.
Because not just with the bowel movements, but it helps to, it has what you call an affinity effect or a binding effect, where it pulls any excess fat, cholesterol, that it takes it out along with the stool or the feces, the bowels that is moving. So fiber is something that we are lacking here in Belize.
Yes.
The only thing that I know Belizeans can probably look at there and say they see most of the time in their plate is the red kidney beans. Tell me if you don't see the red kidney beans more often than how you see your green cauliflower, the yellow sweet pepper. Maybe you see the white potato.
Yes.
And the leek carrots there. But outside of these things, the most things that we normally use is like the red beans. We don't normally use a lot of vegetables. Another thing to mention too, when it comes to high fiber, low fat carbs, what we're showing here is more beneficial for individuals who are diabetics.
Okay.
The reason for that is they have to watch the amount of carbohydrate containing foods that they're eating. So because they do that, they would want to know the ones you want to choose the ones that you like. Two, it's delicious, but it's still healthy. It has more nutrients, and it's going to fill you up.
Yeah.
So you're going to pick high fiber, right? Low carb, nutrient dense.
Definitely.
That's what is going to be beneficial, and that is found right there. Delicious nutrient dense at the upper region, and delicious nutrient dense, medium high fiber, low fat carbs. Those are very good foods.
Wonderful. I like this picture right here because it shows a variety.
Yes.
A variety. It gives us a variety of things that we can be eating or should be eating.
Yes.
So whether you're a diabetic or not, we should be eating a variety of these things that are on the screen. Week in, week out, we are eating the same thing over and over and over. Yes, it may be cheaper. Yes, it may be easier for you to do, but we have to keep in mind that we need to have variety. Different food have different nutrients, different vitamins that can be added to our diet.
And before we go from the picture, just quickly at the bottom, if you're going to see at the lower base of this picture that you're seeing on the screen, notice it has a pizza there, and it has some sweets. It has like a little chocolate muffin looking.
Okay.
And on the upper right, I believe it says delicious, but it's less nutrient dense, low fiber, low fat carbs.
That
you
looks
see
like
the white
looks like
bread,
my Saturday night meal.
the white bread, the pasta, and there is something else there that is refined. I don't know exactly what it is. Looks like flour tortilla. I will just say that because that is what we have here in Belize.
With lots of butter.
Right. So I want you to just notice that the picture emphasizes that these are less nutrient dense.
Okay.
Which means you're not getting vitamins and minerals from these pastries, pizzas. You're not benefiting, except you're benefiting with the high fat, and you're benefiting with the high sugary content that you will digest from those things.
What I've done, Miss Leera, because I found it challenging for us to find products here in Belize, especially when it comes to staples, apart from the ground food. What I do, I pair if I'm doing pasta, I pair it with I fill the sauce with vegetables, and I pair it with a salad.
That
just to give it more because the pasta
More
is just
nutrients.
basically flour, right?
Right.
And that doesn't have any kind of nutrients.
Unless
So
they
you add
fortify.
things, you add things like maybe the lentils in your sauce, just to add fiber. I would add tomatoes. Sometimes I'd add carrots to my sauce, and then I would make it with a fresh green salad.
Yes.
Just to make the meal more
Nutritious.
So you may not be getting all your vitamins and minerals from the pasta itself, but what you add to it, you can boost it up.
That's right.
You know, so that's something I have tried, even with the rice. We're not a fan of the brown rice, but when I make my white rice, I'd pair it with the lentil beans, I'd pair it with the
Different
red
peas,
beans,
different
black beans,
Something.
with all kind of beans, you know, and then we would make an oatmeal patties, which is
Put it
another
there.
set of fiber to add to it. So we have to learn how to
Be creative.
definitely boost up that meal.
I like that. I want to think that our viewers are familiar with the different types of beans, peas, and legumes, because you guys did a series on
We did
that.
a whole series
So
on beans.
nobody will say
A
they
whole
don't
show.
know what lentils
Yeah.
is. I don't know if you guys did the chickpeas, but they
Very-
can't
yeah.
say they don't know what those are.
Yes.
Belizeans, just like what Miss Neil said, listen, if you have to add these things back, and I love it. That's why I said it has to do a lot with how you pair, the quality and quantity. I say you still can eat healthy,
Of course.
even if you can't afford
Of
to buy the
course,
whole
of course.
broccoli or the whole cauliflower. But
course.
the simple vegetables that are very affordable, even the spinach. People don't like spinach, but you get a whole bag of spinach at the market for $1.50.
Okay.
They're giving away the spinach basically, and it's filled with nutrients.
Yes, as we're coming up on a break, I'd like to add as well, we make our homemade pizza, and we put corn on it.
Lovely.
My children love corn, so we put corn on it. You could put your
Put
olives
your
on
vegetables.
it. You put your mushroom on it, so it's not just flour and sauce.
Sweet
Flour,
pepper.
sauce, and cheese.
Put
You know, you put your
tomato,
vegetables
everything.
on top of it
Yes.
to add vitamins and minerals to,
and
to that
fiber
meal.
and fiber.
Yeah, so that's how we do it at home. But we have more to share with you when we come back. We have some plates that you'll be able to decide if it's right or wrong. A little game kinda, and we also have that special offer that's coming up. So we want for you to stay with us to the end for you to hear more. We'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Youth Come Alive wants to wish you and your family season's greetings and a prosperous new year.
May love come alive within your hearts this Christmas.
May your desire be to put a smile on every face you see.
May hope fill each room that you enter and bring joy to those you hold dear.
Merry Christmas
And a Happy New Year.
Season greetings here from an hour of power. We're very happy that you guys could have joined us throughout this year. We now are in the Christmas season, and we want to remind you that the reason for the season is Jesus Christ.
Amen.
The prophet Isaiah says that a child was born and a son was given to us whose name is Jesus Christ. You know, Emmanuel, God with us. So we're very thankful that you could have joined us throughout this year. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing this program. Thank you for all those who supported us through the financial contribution. We're very grateful. It is because of you all that we are able to continue having this program. So we're very happy. Also, on behalf of Central Belize Mission, season's greetings, and we pray that God may continue to bless you, richly bless you throughout the following year, 2023.
Yes, I don't know about you, Pastor, but Christmas is my favorite time of the year. The atmosphere is different. It seems like everyone is more loving, more caring. They're always smiling.
Amen.
All the lights that people put on their home. This is my favorite time, and especially the food.
Amen.
Especially the food. Something about Christmas, every time you go, any house you visit, they're giving you cake, soft drink, food. I know come January I have to start run even more. So season's greetings, always remember that Jesus is the reason for this season. God
Amen.
bless.
God bless you.
And we are back. We thank you so much for staying with us thus far in our program today. You are watching the Adventist Television Network, and this is Defining Your Health. We've been having a wonderful discussion thus far with Miss Leera Carr, dietitian, nutritionist, and she's been sharing with us a wealth of information when it comes to eating well. Thus far, we've spoken about what your plate should be looking like for Christmas dinner or for New Year's dinner. And we know that in our culture, we're used to piling on, heaping up the rice, and definitely we know that's not the right thing to do. We've spoken about balancing or eating a variety of foods, right?
Right.
Natural foods that contains healthy vitamins and minerals that our body needs.
Yes.
Moving along now, Miss Leera, as we progress in this discussion, here we have another slide. And this slide shows us a picture of a 9-inch plate. I have a question for you. How large is your dinner plate? Maybe that's the thing that's killing us, dinner plate too big.
That's right.
So I'd advise you to purchase smaller dinner plates.
That's one of our tips, actually.
Okay.
We do recommend smaller plates so that when you put your food on it, it looks like it's full.
It's a lot.
It tricks the eye and
Okay.
the mind, and so it helps you to eat less because you have a smaller plate.
This one here, this slide says a closer look at eating well with diabetes. Now you might be saying eating well with diabetes, I'm not a diabetic. I'm not a diabetic, and that may be true, but I think we all should be eating like we are diabetics.
Right.
Belize has a number of people suffering from diabetes at this point
We
in
are
time.
actually not just Belize, but on this west side of the world, we have what you call a diabetic pandemic.
Wow.
Right? During COVID-19 virus, when we were going through the pandemic, we realized that indeed there was a big problem because those individuals who had these chronic conditions were the ones who suffered the most when they contracted the COVID-19 virus.
Yes.
So, and it was chronic conditions, lifestyle diseases like diabetes. So we realized that indeed we are suffering from what you will consider a diabetic pandemic. Now, the reason why we are saying that people should eat like diabetics is because we recommend for all our diabetics to eat fruits and vegetables. That is one of the big emphasis that we put. And that is something that you as an individual should make be a lifestyle. For your children, let it be a habit. Let them not feel good eating food without having vegetables, or let them not feel good without going through the day without having a fruit. If this is something that you practice, you're going to realize that it is something that becomes natural for you. And for myself, I can speak like that because recently I have been eating as a vegetarian. I recently stopped eating as a vegetarian because I was doing a lot of different works, and sometimes you're just going to have to eat what is available. So you work with that. But as a vegetarian, if it's something that you has built for that 28 day period, you're going to realize that the food that you're eating is more fresh, it's more nutritious. you go to the bathroom a lot more, but you
Trust
go
me, that's
freely.
true.
You go freely. There's no hard. You don't have that long wait there, right? You know what I'm talking about. You go good. You don't have the rumbling in your stomach. Your stomach frees up itself very often. Your mind is clear. You don't get that clog or that what you will in quote, I don't want to say the word, but they say niggeritis, you know, like, right, okay. So you don't have a lot of that when it comes to eating like that. If that is a habit that you build, moving from a diet like that, or trying to move to a diet like that, you're going to realize that you have an appetite for healthier foods.
Yes.
And the appetite is what is important, because that is the brain center. So if you create that habitual taste for good foods,
Yes.
then eventually your mind will tell you, I want this one. Even if your taste bud is saying, just for right now, I want ice cream, you know, or I want pizza, or I want burger, or I want fried chicken or wings. After you ate that, you're not going to be satisfied because the lettuce isn't there. You didn't have lettuce, or you didn't have an orange. You know, that is the habit that you want to build.
Yes. And I want to say that we're not here today telling you to quit everything or stop eating everything. What we're trying to say is to eat everything in moderation. When it comes to your meal, one of the best things to do is to sit and eat a balanced meal.
Yes.
Then, of course, after you could have a dessert of your choice.
Yes.
We're not here either saying that you need to be a vegetarian. Everybody's at a different stage in their life. You know, I am a vegetarian. Miss Leera she practices on and off, and
Yes.
that's fine. It's a journey. Eating should not be a chore. Eating should be a happy time.
That's right.
You know, and there should be no guilt when you finish eating.
That's right.
You know?
That's healthy eating. But I'm sorry for those individuals who we are sharing this new knowledge with. Maybe this would be new knowledge for you. And know when you go and eat your nice pizza and you drink your nice big cup of soft drink, or when it comes to Christmas dinner or New Year's, you feel bad because you remember that we had this conversation. You're supposed to feel bad because you feel the better for the New Year.
Well, that's one of the pressures now. But one of the things I am planning to do for the holidays, I am planning on making my own meals.
Okay.
You know, that's one of the things you can do. It's usually a family time when family bring this family. It's like a potluck.
Okay.
So you ensure that whatever you take is something healthy,
Nutritious.
something nutritious. So at least you have one nutritious option. You know, and it will be a great opportunity for you to introduce something new to the family.
Yes.
You know,
certainly.
they might know you as the person who always bring the salad, the vegetable salad. Everybody like eating potato salad on Christmas Day. But you know, introducing a vegetable salad wouldn't be a wrong thing to do.
It wouldn't.
Now, Ms. Leera, let's look at this plate that we have here. A 9-inch plate, as I said before. It says, fill 1/4 with lean protein. And I got one nice piece of chicken
fish,
breast there, or fish or something. But your protein could also be beans. You can
Right.
fill that with beans. If you don't eat meat,
Beans,
you can put
legumes.
beans there. It has the same protein or even more than what the meat provides. All right. The next one says fill 1/4 with a whole grain or starchy vegetables, and you know what would be with rice or with potato, mashed potato, or that would be our pastas. What is shown here? What else can we add there? Some ground food.
Bread. Your
bread.
tortilla, your corn tortilla.
So that's what would be your starch or your grains. All right, when we go over to the next side, it says fill half with non-starchy vegetables. And there you see a variety of vegetables. So it's the reverse. We usually have that half filled with rice, and the rest just have a little portion of beans or a little portion of salad. But
we can show them the picture of what
should be. Miss Leera, you really want to show them people this picture?
Yes, because we want to show the striking difference.
All right, before we get to the picture, eat a small amount of fresh fruits. And then over the next side, drink skim milk or 1% milk. But we don't usually drink milk along with our dinner.
With your,
you will drink juice, right?
So that's about the plate. It's not necessarily saying that this is the combo that you would do, but you can have that. The fruit options are more like your snack options.
Okay.
If you do get packaged, you want to go ahead and have a fruit, or if you're having breakfast in the morning, you can pair what you would consider starchy fruits with the food that you're having.
Yes.
So you're not going to necessarily go acidic with your alkaline food that are basic. You want to do something that is going to go right along. So the banana, that's good to go with it. If you have an orange, that could be a snack option. That's the most popular
thing here in Belize.
Yes, and bananas are cheap. Are very cheap.
Quickest thing to grab. Now we're attacking the Christmas dinner again. Friends, let's look at this plate. What is wrong with the plate?
That's my question for you today.
What is wrong with the plate? Miss Leera, tell us, what is wrong with the plate? Those of our viewers, type in the chat, type in the comments, what is wrong with this plate?
We actually just showed them what the plate should look like. So I think they can see it. I think both of these places look like they are about 9-inch plates.
Yes.
And if you notice, you see that the rice and bean is covered. That is more than half of the plate. It looks like about 2/3 of the plate.
So rice we know is starch, and potato we know is starch. So what is wrong with this plate?
A lot is missing.
There's a double amount of starch inside the plate. So when you sit down and you eat your dinner,
no vegetables today. No
carrots in the salad, Miss Leera.
That's starchy vegetables. Where is the non-starchy vegetable? That is the one that should be on there. So I don't see it.
Okay. So we really have to rethink. We're not here attacking your meal, but we're here.
The plantain is starchy too.
But it's nice.
It's okay. So actually, a food like this is fine. I'm not sure if we're going to show them another plate.
Yes, we will.
But you can enjoy all of these delicious foods,
but not together. Not in that same.
I'm not in the quantity. So for a normal individual who is not a diabetic, you can have rice and beans with your plantain. You could still have your potato salad. It's just the quantity. And all you want to do there is add in some of your raw vegetables just to make that plate correct the plate.
I think
and keep the protein smaller.
The quantity is messing us up because we eat with our eyes. And we feel like the more we fill the plate, the better it will be. Let's move along now. Now we have another plate. This one has a pupusas in it.
Yes, and the tamales.
And the next side have tamales with corn chips on the side. What is wrong with this plate?
A lot of things.
Tell us, nutritionist.
So that's basically what you're looking at here. It's not nutritious as we want to say. We know how these things are made here in Belize. They have a lot of oil. I'm not telling you that you can't have your pupusas. You can have a pupusa, right? But if this is what you're going to make to be a meal, it's not going to give you the amount of nutrients that you need.
So it's basically starch and meat.
Yes.
Starch and protein.
And oil. Fat.
Oil.
Because that's what they use to make the tamales. The hard, I think they use shortening for that. And also for the pupusas, they use a lot of oil. Sometimes cheeses in it. So it's mainly staple and food from animal and fats and oil.
So how can we make this healthier then?
What you want to do, you can have maybe like I would say 2 pupusa, small. You just add your raw vegetables on the side, a nice garden salad. Maybe you can, the beans, if the beans is in the pupusa, that is fine. Perhaps you can go ahead and, I think the main thing is adding the raw vegetables, and that would be where you would get your fiber from.
Yes, a little plate, a little bowl of salad.
Yes, yes.
If you could eat a salad every day,
this is the reason why we say eat like diabetics, because we emphasize the eating of the vegetables.
Yes.
We have moved away from something as simple as that, and it has caused a lot of diseases in people's lives.
I feel the effect of not eating a salad greatly every day, you know, because you feel like something is missing. from your meal. You feel like something is missing from your meal, and so sometimes we're not able to do a whole lettuce salad. So we would do just cucumbers.
That's fine.
You know, but it's better than not having anything.
Tomatoes and your cucumbers.
So try to include a salad in your meal. Now we're moving on to the next slide. And this one has rice, it has steamed vegetables, and is that chicken there?
It looks like chicken to me.
Okay, so the question is, this is exactly what your meal should look like.
This is the same 9-inch plate.
Yes, so if you notice this 9-inch plate have half of it with steamed vegetables. Broccoli and carrots. And then there's a portion there with rice, there's a portion there with meat. Now, Belizeans, my people. I don't know if we could handle this. We'll definitely have to go back to the seconds and thirds and fourths.
The main thing that we are saying here is eat your vegetables, eat your fruits. Eating well has a lot to do with the fiber and the nutrients that you put in.
Okay.
And if you're eating your vegetables and fruits, most definitely you will be getting your vitamins and minerals.
Okay.
If you're getting, if you eat meat and you eat rice, you eat staples, food from animals, beans, legumes, those are okay, but we just want to emphasize that you do get the brightly colored antioxidants, disease-causing agents that are found mainly in the brightly colored fruits and vegetables. That is what benefit you from reducing risk of cancer, hypertension, inflammation. You can only get those from the natural things that are found in the fruits and vegetables.
Yes. I think these slides are pretty helpful, Ms. Leera. Going through them one by one gave us an opportunity to really think about what we are putting into our bodies.
Yes.
Now, one thing I think we are forgetting that I think is key, and maybe you can speak a little bit on it as we are almost at a wrapping up point, the speed in how we eat.
Okay.
I think that's a challenge.
We don't have time. I would say mainly, as I don't think we had mentioned it earlier, but we spoke on the short time at the call centers that they do give you for lunch. I think that 1 hour is sufficient for you to be able to sit down and have a meal, and you will be able to actually chew what we show you here on the plate within that hour. So usually what is recommended, which I know people don't practice and perhaps you don't know, is that you want to chew your food at least 32 times.
Okay.
If you are somebody...
Well, that would take practice.
Yes. So you want to chew your food until it almost becomes nothing inside your mouth. We don't like to feel that, right? So mainly just try your best to chew more. That would be the goal. That would be the recommendation for this new year.
Yes.
Go smaller with the plate, chew more. Those are 2 main tips that you want to do. Eat more fruits, eat more vegetables. Those are what is going to benefit you for the new year.
Another thing I'd like to add, Ms. Leera, that I think would be helpful is for when it's lunchtime, remove yourself from your work desk.
Yes. Okay.
Because a lot of time we eat and work. And then you don't realize how you don't even need to chew, you just swallow.
Just to swallow.
You just swallow.
Yes.
You know, so being in a different environment while you're eating would be a great way for you to focus on eating and not eating and working. Because when you eat and work as well, you don't realize how much you don't eat.
That's exactly what it is. And I like that you mentioned that, because even for our young people, they tend to eat while they're watching a movie, you know, while they're around their computer, they're doing YouTube videos on social media. These things make you eat more. But if we take more time to just spend time on eating and just relaxing in that moment, which is good to give your brain, your mind some rest, is going to benefit you overall when it comes to feeling full. The thing about chewing is that it sends a message to your brain that this is what your body is doing. It will be better able to signal to your body, hey, I'm full, let's stop. So that's the good thing about chewing. But if you're just swallowing, the brain doesn't have a lot of time to necessarily tell you it's time to stop. By the time it tells you you stop, you're probably so stuffed, you know, that you're like, okay, I'm full.
Yes.
But that's not what we want to use for, you know, being satisfied. You want to have, because some of our satisfied points are gone because of what we have been practicing.
Yes, over the years, right?
Yes. So you actually just want to tune yourself into doing some of these practices, and eventually you will break into eating well, being more disciplined. Your body will get used to saying, hey, it's time for us to stop eating.
And then there's a habit, you mentioned niggeritis, eating and then sleeping.
Yes.
Eating and then sleeping, that's how you know you've overeaten, right?
Not necessarily all the time, but it happens too when you had a meal that was fully balanced in amino acids.
Oh, okay.
And that was high in protein. So people who do eat the fried chicken or the barbecue, you know, or sometimes even for vegetarians or vegans who do have a meal that is full in amino acids, that is going to trigger a certain hormone. I believe it is the sleep one, that it's a hormone that makes you feel, you feel good, you know, you feel satisfied, but it also helps you to get sleepy because the body is taking time to digest this protein. So that is the reason why we recommend, you know, keep the protein quarter of your plate and you keep it lean. That way it would be easier for your body to digest.
Perfect. Now we are at the point where we can talk about your special offer.
Okay.
So,
I almost forgot about it.
So, Miss Leera has, from her business, Optimal Nutrition Services, she has a special offer that is, you know, quite interesting. I think it's the first time we've had anything like this. Share with us a little bit about this special offer that you're launching for the holidays, for the season.
Okay, so I like that. I love food, I love helping people, and I wanted to be creative in having something that is called basket therapy.
Ooh.
It has been an idea that I've had for a very long time, and I just wanted to try it just to see more or less how it would go. And I want to cater for those individuals who are diabetics, who are hypertensive, who have fatty liver. You deserve to have something that is delicious, something that is pretty. I gave, you know, sometimes people don't know what to buy for you so that you can eat. And so Optimal Nutrition Services is offering basket therapy in gift packages for individuals who have these chronic conditions.
Very nice.
Today we just brought a small sample of what our baskets look like. They actually, for this one that we brought, it's for someone who is a diabetic. We do include something to encourage exercise. That may be one of the bands that you use to exercise the upper body. Or sometimes we would include what you call is a waist trainer, just to kind of help you when you're walking to help reduce the fat in the abdominal area.
Nice.
For the diabetics, of course, we just put foods in there that you recognize, that you can afford, and that you can say, after this basket is finished, I know what I need to buy to put on my table.
Nice. And if you, as you have up the picture on the screen for you to see what's inside, there is a variety of things inside this basket. This is a full basket. And I think it's a perfect gift idea, Miss Leera. Like you said, a lot of times you go to buy a gift and you buy things that people don't use.
True.
Things that they throw in and they cover at the back, or, you know, I prefer getting gifts where I could eat. I love to eat, you know, so just a hint for those who love me and want to buy me something. I like to get gifts that I can eat, you know, or gifts that I could use for a lifetime. You know, and I think this is a perfect gift for you to give someone who's diabetic.
Yes.
You know, why not treat them to something healthy?
Yes.
You know,
and delicious.
Than the chocolates and all the other things that, or things that they won't use. You know, so this basket is a perfect gift idea. Now I know you make others.
Yes.
Tell us about the anti-inflammatory food basket.
The anti-inflammatory basket is very special. It includes mainly fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
And with our basket, we actually have a little card that comes in there that tells you how to use the items. So specifically for the anti-inflammatory basket, it's more of something that you would put together. So you would take the items, their ingredients for specific therapies that you will use that will enable you to have a goal that you want to achieve. So that is for individuals who maybe they have Alzheimer's, maybe they're having joint pain, maybe they're having a fatty liver, maybe they have high cholesterol, high lipids, high fats, arteriosclerosis, people who have been, maybe you're just somebody who has a lot of fat stores. The anti-inflammatory diet is for somebody like that. It has fat burning therapies that are included in there. It has teas, and it has certain recommendations that is going to be beneficial for you.
Wonderful, wonderful. It is a pleasure that you could, come up with these ideas, to help people along. Sometimes it's just we only need a little coaching.
Yes.
Or a little encouragement to help us to get back on track. And that's what I plan on doing for the new year. As we are winding down our program for today, we want to encourage you to eat better.
Yes.
You work so hard. You work so hard to make the money that you have, and then you take that money and you just buy junk. You buy things that will prolong your life.
Yes.
Buy food items that will help you to feel better. You don't want to eat something and then afterwards you feel sick. Feel better, look better. And that's one of the goals for optimal nutrition services. We're here to help you. Defining Your Health is a program that is here to help you.
Yes.
And as we're helping you, we're helping ourselves. Because these are all lessons we're taking in for ourselves.
That's right.
Again, we offer you the basket that you can order by which number, Miss Leera?
6210691. That's on WhatsApp, or you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. We are available. We do deliveries. We have small and large baskets. The small baskets are for $35. The large ones are for $45. And these baskets are made tailored to your condition.
Very nice, very nice. So I see apples, I see raisins, I see popcorn seeds, I see oatmeal, grapes, and then there's something there
Lemons,
for you
we
to
have teas.
Exercise with.
Yes, and
Nice.
we have olive oil, different things that are in there.
So you get a little variety of items. Ms. Leera, again, we thank you so much for joining us on our program for today. I think we had a very, very good discussion. I have a lot of takeaways, a lot of things that I am planning on implementing into my lifestyle, into my home. And I hope that you took away something as well. I thank you for staying with us to the end of our program. And until then, we say, God bless.
God bless.
As a non-profit organization, the Adventist Television Network solely relies on your financial support. By partnering with us through a monthly donation, you will help us to continue to fulfill the mission in taking the gospel into all the world. For more information, please call 613-9351 or email us at atnfin@cbm.belizeunion.org. Thank you for your prayers and support of the ATN ministry, and together we may hasten the soon coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.